Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. In my last video, I introduced you to the concept of matrix mixing for church services specifically, how to get that broadcast mix and that live mix, that house mix to work together the easiest way possible. And I made mention of the idea that you can also use these concepts on a console that may not have matrix mixing capability. As an example, my last video I used an X32, Behringer X32, that has matrix mixing, so it's pretty easy to set up. But the less expensive X18 series, X18 X Air series of Behringer mixers don't have matrix mixing. So the question is, can you use a similar concept to still automate your main mixing and your broadcast mix with a console that doesn't have matrix mixing? The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you how. So if you end up finding this information useful, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you are notified of the next one I put up. Or better yet, share this video with somebody who may be mixing sound at their church and could use these tips, especially this one if they're using a console that doesn't have matrix mixing capabilities. Now in this case, I have an X18, it's an X Air series Behringer mixer in my recording space that I've connected. So we're going to see some actual live inputs here. My Apollo that I'm recording with this mic on is going stereo sent to that, as well as a computer audio, which is getting the same thing. So at least we have some input signals to see. Probably doesn't matter for this. I'm going to show you real quick how to set this up. The idea by getting a matrix mix-like setup on a console that doesn't have matrix mixing is we're going to use a bus mix, a stereo bus mix, as your broadcast mix, and we're going to set all of the sends from the input channels going to that bus mix to pre-fader. I'm sorry, post-fader. Let's get that right, post-fader. The reason we're going to do this, if you set it post-fader, then that bus mix is reflective of the main mix. So any main mix musical changes will reflect in the bus mix as well. Here's the way that I like to do this. In this example, I'm going to use bus 5 and 6 as my broadcast mix. I know it says monitor left, right, whatever. It's my broadcast mix now. And you'll see that I have some levels set up for this mix. What we're going to do is we're going to go to every input channel on here and go to the Sends tab. You're going to go to every input channel and you're going to set them all to post fader on bus 5 and 6 because that's going to be our broadcast. So bus 5 and 6. Now there's an easy way. This is a console specific thing, but on the X Air series there's an easy way to do this. If you click this little changes affect all channels, then as soon as I go change my broadcast mix, all the input one channel to post fader, they're all going to change to post fader. The next thing you want to do with this is go to the actual mix itself and set them all to unity. Set them all to 0. Now, I can't double click to do that, but in this case, we're going to say, okay, broadcast mix. My broadcast stereo mix is going to get 0. It's going to get unity on every single channel on the board. We'll just get roughly close here. Now what this has an effect of doing, if I set this bus mix all at unity, my bus mix is effectively at this point an exact copy of the main mix. Since this bus mix is post fader, that means that anything over here on the main mix, any change that I make on the main mix, goes exactly to that bus mix. And the bus mix, because they're all set at unity, it neither adds nor subtracts, it neither boosts nor attenuates any of those signals. It basically, a unity post fader mix is a copy of the main mix in this case. Now once I have that set up, once I have bus 5 and 6 being a direct copy of the main mix, now you can start to make some changes for your announcement mics. So let's pretend, for instance, that this vocal mic, this one right here, is an announcement mic that I need more of. what I'll do is I'll go to that vocal mic. Make sure, by the way, if this isn't set already, that you're only affecting one channel. You're not using that universal change everything. And I'm going to go take this mic here. Let's say this is the pastor preacher mic, this vocal mic. And I'm going to set that to pre-fader. Now that I have that set to pre-fader, my broadcast mix pastor's mic, announcement mic, is totally free of the main mix. This would give me the opportunity to boost it real hot for sake of the broadcast. Now, what ends up happening with this is, because you always have to bring that mic up close to the musical volume, a lot of the time you may need to take this broadcast mix and bring all of your musical instruments down quite a bit lower so that this announcement mic is on a similar level when they're going out. Now, you can do this, bring this all down lower, and then take that main send here, make sure that's nice and hot going to the broadcast, and then whatever computer you're using or software you're using, you can trim up the broadcast mix to make sure it's a good broadcast level. But you might have to do a little tweaking as far as taking all of your what you had Unity instruments on this mix and bring them all down. Again, if I bring all of these down to, let's just say -10, for instance, that's going to give me a carbon copy of my main mix 10 decibels below what the actual main mix is. The reason this is useful is you might not be able to get enough contrast, enough volume difference between your musical mix and your announcement mix. When you do this, bringing those all down gives you some headroom to bring up that announcement mic if you need it. You'll have to experiment around a little bit with it, but this is basically a way of getting pretty similar functionality to a basic matrix mix. It's not a perfect matrix mix, because a perfect matrix mix can be a combination of a lot of mixes. In this case, it'll give you the similar functionality that I showed in the last video for leveling out that broadcasting, getting your announcement mics up to the same level as your musical mix, and making it a lot easier for your sound engineer to mix the mains and the broadcast at the same time. Thanks for checking out these tips. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Reach me some other way. Tell me if I've missed something, screwed something up. That's quite possible. And we will see you next time.